Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nasir, and what's on tap for today? Well, we have got a question and answer session when Matt Walsh visited New Mexico State University, folks. Is a young girl, a young woman, very articulate, asking a very, very important question to Matt Walsh. What can we do to try to stop the gender ideology movement, the transgender ideology movement that's taking a hold in our state? And what can we do legally? And what resources can we use to fight back against it? So let's hear that answer. I'm going to give you my reaction to it as well. Let's take a look at Matt Walsh at New Mexico State University.
Good evening, Mr. Walsh.
Right in front of me. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Wonderful talk. I just wanted to say my name is Florencia, and we appreciate the initiative you've taken in states such as Tennessee to start working on legislation to stop the abuse and indoctrination of kids by the gender ideology movement. And I just wanted to ask, do you think that's attainable in states such as New Mexico? And if so, how do you recommend we start that revolution here in states such as this one?
Yeah, I think it is attainable. The way I'd like to see it done is on the federal level, because this should also be, this is a federal issue, and the federal government needs to act to protect kids from this mutilation and abuse that's happening nationwide, especially now that you have states passing laws to try to override and supersede the states that have banned this stuff by inviting parents, abusive parents, to bring their kids to their states to be mutilated. So that's the reason for the federal government to step in. That's obviously not going to happen.
And Matt's actually right. That's probably not going to happen at the federal level with the way that the Democrats and the libs and the progressives, operate and whatever. But what's happening is just like they were saying with abortion movement, right? California says, hey, if you can't, as I was saying before, that what the states were doing in the abortion movement, right? What they do, they said, hey, if your state doesn't allow for abortions, come on over to our state. We'll do your abortion. We'll go ahead and get rid of your kid for you. No problem. So that's exactly what's needed. So let's continue.
But that should be an issue for 2024. Whoever the Republican candidate is, they need to be on board vocally and explicitly with a ban on this on the federal level.
Absolutely.
Until that happens, no, I don't think it's. I think it's an uphill battle in a state like New Mexico and many other states as well. It's not impossible. I think here's the one hurdle you have to get over. Most people, when they find out what gender-affirming care actually is, they are viscerally repulsed by it. In fact, every sane, decent person is. It would just be impossible to be a sane, decent person and say that, oh yeah, it's definitely okay to chemically castrate a child. So I think that's probably true even in New Mexico, but you have to get the word out. You have to raise awareness. So it begins with.
And Matt is so right here that you've just got to really let people know. You've got to fight with emotions. Statistics is fine. You give out statistics about suicide rate and gender affirming care, and this many kids it was okay, but this many kids found it. But that's logic stuff. Emotion is at the heart of this, folks. We need to use emotion to bring about change, to let people say, do you really think it's okay to give drugs to children? To chemically castrate them, to stunt their puberty, to stunt adolescence? Is that really okay with you? And do you really want to have studies on children, giving them drugs that we have absolutely no idea what's going to happen to them, but we give it to rapists and to child molesters, and now we're going to give this to children? You've got to ask these questions and get an emotional response from people. And like, Matt is saying, most people have that visceral response of the just, oh my, you're right. A sane person comes up with that response, says, no, I don't want kids to be chemically castrated. No, we shouldn't be giving drugs to kids for whatever reason in terms of this gender. I don't call it affirming care. I call it misaffirming care.
With raising awareness, and that involves, getting out on the street, doing actual rallies. We did that in Nashville. The left is very good at this. They're very good at being physically present. And it really does work. Hashtag campaigns and all the rest of it are fine, but you have to be physically out there. And then look for examples. One thing we did in Tennessee to get this ban passed, is we said, well, let's just go to our local hospital here, Vanderbilt, and find out what they're doing. Get all the information we can and lay it out for people. And that's what we did. So I would say find the examples in New Mexico of this sort of thing. Who's doing it? What are they doing? And start spreading the word about that.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
And he's right. That's what you need to do. Legally, peacefully, put together the information, find out in your home state, in your city, wherever you're at, if this is something that you truly believe in and you want to move the agenda, then this is what you need to do. You need to bring the news, bring the cause to the people. But before you do that, lay out a roadmap. Say, here's what we want to do. This is where we want to get to. How do we get to that? Well, first we got to find examples. Is it really occurring? Is it that big? How many people is it happening to? Find those examples, just like they did in Tennessee. They went to Vanderbilt. New Mexico, there's got to be hospitals there that are doing this. If they are, find out. Go there, sort of like undercover, give them a call, find out what's going on, talk to other people, and then lay those things out one by one by one by one by one. And then have your marches, have your rallies, spread it around, get people involved. That's what's going to do it, folks. We appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Let us know what you think. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.